What's up, Mr. Jonathan? How's it going? Thanks for
How's it
meeting me on
going?
Saturday. Yeah, thanks for taking time from your weekend. We're just gonna have a very casual conversation. I just have a couple questions. We can just bounce back. We just have like almost like a practice run for our podcast, maybe in the future. Right.
Pretty serious
Uh,
about that.
right. First question. How long have you been working at Hoover?
Hoover, man, how long have I been there? 3 years now. Sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade for this class. So, yeah, a total of 3 years. I came in from FSK in elementary school. Before I got there, shout out Mr. Jeremy from FSK too.
Me and Mr. Jonathan have the almost exact same like career path. Right. We both started at FSK. We both came to Hoover. Yeah, and I think that's why we kick it off so well. But how long?
And
How long?
we're both psychology majors.
How's your majors? Yeah, there we go. Uh, I can read your mind.
I can hear what he's thinking right
Yeah,
now. Like,
or no, just reading your behavior too, like just your body language. I know exactly what's going on. So how long have you been working with youth? That's I think one of the things that we always like to wonder. Like,
yeah, so like I said, it was my first year at Key. That was my first year in education. Before going on to Hoover for those next 3 years. So yeah, that's where it all started. I mean, yeah, there's not much to say to that one. Yeah.
did you ever work with kids prior? Like any?
Uh, I don't think so. No, like
No?
every other job I've had has been like retail or like some kind of sales or
Got it.
some other random stuff.
Retail or education?
Oh, education, hands
Education,
down.
hands
Like
down,
I
right?
don't
Right.
like checking somebody out at the counter and it's like, oh, do you want to open a credit card? Nobody wants to open a JCPenney credit card. Like, come on. Like,
Right.
I couldn't do that to older customers. I felt bad.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I'm always wondering. This is always a question that's in my mind. I've been working with kids since like 2002, right? So, I always ask this question to people who work in education. Like, if you weren't in education, what other field would you have been in?
Shoot, I'd probably go with maybe being a counselor or some type of like therapy, or business. Yeah, I always loved like talking to people and helping them out with like their lives and their problems and just having like that personal connection and
Mm.
just like helping people get through that. So I'd probably go with therapy or just business because I just love the hustle of it.
Fun fact: I also thought about being a therapist at one point.
What I'm
Uh,
talking about,
Hey, but
psychology.
I got that inspiration from my dad because my dad is a marriage family therapist. So I'm like, hey, maybe I'll look up to and do it. It's not until like I graduated and he told me don't do it. Like it's cutthroat. Don't do it. Hey, what draws you to education? What's your main drive?
It's like one reason, but like a bunch of like mini reasons behind that. It's like a lot of like personal reasons on why I work with kids in education. That kind of like breaks down to like not having a lot of people have my back when I was a kid.
Mm,
So I grew up pretty fast, having to do stuff on my own. Um, I kind of just trained myself to hustle when it came to like making money. I
mm,
didn't have an allowance. I only had money from like Christmas and birthdays, and stuff that I wanted, I had to pay for on my own. And just because like I didn't want my parents paying for it, because I knew at a young age we weren't rich, so I didn't want them spending their money on shoes and like toys and stuff like that, because I thought there's more important stuff. Part of that is what I bring to education, just trying to teach kids how to like be on their own, just letting them know that they're gonna have to rely on themselves throughout life, but to also let them know that people have your back. That's something that I mentioned earlier. Like I didn't have a lot of adults, I feel like, that kind of just supported me or even told me that I would be something or like I was capable of something. So, I try to put that out on kids and just telling them, letting them know, letting them hear it, I think is something super important. So it's like a lot of personal stuff. It's a lot of stuff that I didn't get that I want to be able to give to others.
What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you during middle school?
One thing, I don't know if it's like the most embarrassing, but like I remember one day I already knew it was going to be bad. So, a little background, I got into shoes and clothes in middle school. I was super like into fashion and like color coordinating and all that. And then one day I got a new pair of Jordans. They were white, purple, and gold. And, that's kind of hard to wear with those colors. And this is around the time where I didn't know about like blue jeans in a way. Like, blue jeans is like a common garment worn, with anything. I did not like to wear blue jeans. Like that's how color coordinated I was. I was like, blue doesn't match with everything. It doesn't make sense. So I didn't wear blue jeans and I wanted to wear my purple and white shoes. So I wanted to find something to match with it, and I found a random purple shirt that had like a San Francisco trolley on it. I've never worn it in my life. I literally went through my parents' closet, wore it, and to match that, I had white sweatpants.
Ooh,
And I just
pulled that
kept looking at
out.
myself in the mirror for like an hour straight. And I was like, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. But I don't have anything else. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna wear blue jeans. I just kept going in and out, looking at myself, thinking this is gonna be a mistake. I went to school, I wore it, I got grilled. They roasted me. They're like, why are you wearing white sweatpants? What is that on your t-shirt? And I didn't even know what it said on my t-shirt. So yeah, I got home. It was like a long day at school, and I just looked at myself again and thought, I told you. I told you to not wear that.
Fashion's like a big thing for you though, right? So I mean, like, how did that interest start off?
I would say it's like just everything about it. Like when it comes to textures, certain materials and the combinations that they're put in, like a shoe can have like some parts leather, some parts like nylon, and just the execution and like the creativity behind certain items being made, and just like having historic stuff behind it too, like a Michael Jordan shoe that he wore when he dropped like 63 points on the Knicks or whatever. And just like that one day, it was in the playoffs or whatever, and there's a whole story behind that moment, that day and time that like that happened. So just like, I don't know, stories and materials and colors.
Yeah, speaking of textures, because I know you have like a really interesting sweater, like that pink one that's all fuzzy. I mean, what kind of
Yeah.
material is that? Like Sherpa or something?
Yeah, Sherpa. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's like my only like item like that. It's super loud, as you can see. Not super loud, but it's like
Yeah,
all pink.
yeah,
you
I
know?
wouldn't call it loud, but I mean, it looks comfortable. I mean, I would definitely wear something more comfortable, even if it's like fluorescent yellow. I'll still wear it because it's comfortable, right? Clothing wise, if it's $5 a tee, I'll get it, but I wouldn't spend like $20 for a t-shirt unless like it's really has like a lot of good meaning behind it. But $5 tee right here, you know.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, people. Just because somebody likes clothes and shoes doesn't mean that I buy everything expensive. Like that's
Right,
a big
right.
misconception that people have with like other people that have clothes and shoes interests.
Yeah.
I love $5 shirts. I love going to Target. If I can find a good deal on a good shirt that I like, I'm buying it all
Yeah.
day.
Are you like a big like name brand kind of guy?
There's like a couple brands that I like, and I always like have an interest on what they're gonna come out with next. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's like if that looks cool to me, like I
Yeah,
like it. I like what I like.
yeah. I mean,
Doesn't
if
have to
you
be
roll into
super.
Costco jeans, Costco sweatpants, those are fine, right?
Hey, what's it called? 42 degrees, I think, at Costco, or 32 degrees. They got some warm stuff.
90,
They got like these leggings, they got sweatpants, they got sweatshirts for like only $20, I think, $15.
I used to think, oh, you got to buy Levi's jeans
Right.
and all that, right? But I don't know. Lately, it's been like either Old Navy or Costco actually has some really good jeans. And the one I have right now that I really like, dark, really dark blue, almost black. I think it's called Urban Stars. It looks good, and no one's gonna look at my tag, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Okay.
buy what you like. That's what it comes down to. It's your money.
Are you like a big Nike or Adidas guy? If you were to pick between the two, which one would you be?
I love both, but I'll go with Nike all day. Like Nike all day, all day.
It's
Um, yeah, I just love the history of it.
pretty cool because the game that we're gonna play today really is gonna test your shoe know-how, your shoe knowledge. So I'm gonna really put that passion to the test. Pick some really interesting shoes, and hopefully you can kind of figure out what those shoes are.
I hope so too. I don't know what you're about to pull out.
Hmm. Well, let's just say it's across different generations. I remember you telling me like during like beginning of the school year, you started like a couple of businesses. So this is like a business that's born out of the COVID-19 pandemic. So what's the business, if you mind like me asking about it?
Yeah, so my two businesses focus on buying and selling shoes. So there's a market for that. Um, Pretty much buy shoes, sell them for a profit, and so on with multiple pairs. And then the second business is restoring shoes. So I'm pretty much cleaning, gluing shoes together that first came out like 10 years ago. Now they're falling apart.
Mm,
So yeah, I work on a lot of like older shoes and just put them together because a lot of these shoes like have a nostalgic aspect to them with the people that own them. Like I've been working on shoes where it was like that person's first pair from high school, you know. And like when you're in high school, you don't have a job, and you know Jordans can be expensive, so it's like
Yeah,
a common thing to have that. But I always appreciate working with those type of clients because there's meaning behind it. You know, it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
some Jordan shoe. Um, and yeah, and I've been planning these two businesses for years. You know, I'm a perfectionist and I wanted to execute everything the right way. And, you know, COVID happened. And, you know, that was like, you know, the same time or like near the time that I was starting up. You know, I started up like probably the beginning of the year. And then COVID just unfortunately, you know, gave me a time to focus more on it. But, you know, if we could have a normal life, I'd rather be working my business through a normal time.
If anyone interested in learning more about Mr. Jonathan, how he runs his business, after school folks, he does have a Build Your Business club. So if you're interested, hit him up on that. If you even have questions about building a business and you're not part of after school, you know, you can join in this ILT time, especially you eighth graders. So time to pick up some new skills and hey, you can make your parents proud.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. And make yourselves proud too.
Say like one more question before we jump to our game. So what's one advice that you will give to your students?
I would just say like kind of touching like there's a lot of stuff I could say, you know, but like I'll just go off of like the stuff that I said earlier. You know, you might have times where you feel like you got to do stuff on your own. And maybe if you're lucky, you don't have to feel like that and you have like a good supportive system. But either way, just learn how to do stuff on your own, push yourself, get things done, work hard, understand that what you put in or what you get is what you put in. And yeah, just because like as you go through life, you know, you're gonna have to do more stuff on your own, and it might sound scary, but if you start doing it at a young age, you learn how to pick it up and you get used to it, and yeah, you learn how to be proud of yourself. And when you are proud of yourself, give yourself some credit. You know, a lot of middle school kids or like any kids in general, they're really hard on themselves, and you know, you be happy for yourself at the end of the day. You know, a lot of the stuff that you do, you did on your own, and no one else did it for you. So be proud of yourself.
Well, I'm hoping that we get to go back soon because I think, like like you said, you mentioned this before. The Zoom meetings are not as personal as would be in person. You know, and I totally feel you on that. Um, I think if I'm going to say this current eighth grade class, this is the same class that you started with. So,
My Wildcats, let's go. Shout out to all my eighth graders. I love y'all. Oh my God. Big year for y'all.
yep, yeah, and some of them you actually had them since you were like they were sixth graders too, I believe.
Yeah.
Right.
Sixth grade, even summer camp before that.
Summer
Like,
camp before that, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so definitely want to make sure that now hopefully we'll be able to get past this. We can spend that maybe hopefully in spring semester that one last hoorah before they go off to high school. Man, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Huge. Huge.
Woo.
Man. I'm so proud of them.